You've noticed you walk a little slower. Nobody's said anything. You just know. Here's what nobody tells you. That slower step may say more than tired legs. I watched a stronger man than me lose his footing on a bathroom floor. What if your walk knows something you don't? Stay with me. In a few minutes, you'll know what to check today. I'm Atlas Reed. Subscribe. You belong here. Most men over 60 think balance fails the day they fall. It doesn't. By the time a man goes down, the failure has usually been running quietly for years, and almost nobody ever tells him what to watch for before that day arrives. There are 5 signs. Most men don't think about this until after it's already happened once, and every one of these signs looks like something else entirely while it's happening. The first one is simple. You catch yourself more than you used to. Reaching for a counter that wasn't really necessary. A quick grab at a doorframe on the way past. A sway you correct so fast nobody else even notices it happened. Most men wave this off as clumsiness or write it off as a bad night's sleep. It isn't either one. It's your inner ear's balance system, the part that tells your brain which way is down without you thinking about it, starting to lose precision with age, a process with an actual clinical name, presbyopstasis. And it's more common than most men realize. Researchers tracking adults over 80 found more than half experienced dizziness or imbalance significant enough to affect daily life. Think of it like old household wiring. It still works, mostly until one afternoon it doesn't carry the load you needed, and by then it isn't really about the wiring anymore. It's about what you were standing on top of when it gave out. At 61, 3 years into rebuilding strength, I'd let slip in my 50s, I watched a stronger man than me lose his footing on a bathroom floor. My own father, reaching for a towel rail that wasn't there. The research on falls like his is blunt. After a first fall, the risk of a second one roughly doubles. Balance and strength were never the same conversation, and that's exactly where sign 2 comes in. Sign 2 shows up in your legs, not your ears. It's that half-second delay standing up from a low chair, or the push you now need from the armrest that you never used to need. That's muscle loss, sarcopenia, and it isn't gradual in the way most men assume. Research puts the loss at 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after your peak, and that rate accelerates again past 60. By the time it's clinically diagnosable, researchers estimate roughly 1 in 10 to 1 in 6 community-dwelling adults over 65 already meet the criteria for it, most without ever having heard the word. It's not about looking less muscular. It's about whether your legs can catch you the one time everything depends on it, and legs that hesitate for even half a second don't get a chance to correct mid-fall. Balance doesn't fail all at once. It fails one system at a time, quietly. The inner ear, the muscles, the eyes, until one ordinary afternoon asks for more than what's left. So here's sign 3, and it's the one nobody talks about because it looks like caution, not decline. You've started hesitating before movements you used to do without a thought. Stepping off a curb, getting up in the dark, taking the stairs 2 at a time the way you used to, and then not. Between 20 and 39% of older adults report a real fear of falling, and that number climbs as high as 73% in men who've already had one fall. Here's the part that surprised me when I found it. That fear isn't just in your head. It measurably changes how you walk. Shorter steps, more hesitation, less confidence in your own legs, which quietly makes a fall more likely, not less. So the very caution that feels like it's protecting you is often the thing quietly working against you. Retraining that isn't about forcing bravery. It's about rebuilding the specific systems underneath the hesitation, which is exactly the confidence rebuilding balance protocol that Still Standing After 60 walks through step by step. It's linked in the description below. If you're watching this on TV, there's a QR code on screen right now. Scan it and it'll take you straight there. Because here's what most men don't realize until it's already happened once. Your body has 3 separate systems working together to keep you upright. The inner ear, your eyes, and sensors in your joints and muscles that track where your body is in space without you looking. When one system weakens, the other 2 compensate. That's sign 4, and it's the quiet one. You start looking down at the ground more when you walk. You need more light in a room than you used to. You hold a rail on stairs you didn't hold 5 years ago. Individually, none of it seems like much. Together, it means your body is already borrowing from systems it used to rely on for free. Here's the part that surprised me most in the research. How you walk turns out to say something about more than just your legs. A study following over 19,000 adults found that slower gait speed was linked to a meaningfully higher rate of dementia over time. And that's not a diagnosis, and it's not saying a slow walk causes memory loss. It's an association, not a verdict on any one man. But it's exactly why sign 4 matters more than it looks like it should. That's not something I can undo for you in the next 90 seconds. It's the difference between knowing the problem exists and knowing exactly how to retrain it. And that gap is where sign 5 lives. Before we get there, try something right now, wherever you're sitting. Stand up and time how long you can hold a single leg stance without touching anything for support. Not tomorrow. Right now, 30 seconds from now, this chair. 10 seconds is the number researchers associate with meaningfully lower fall risk. If you didn't make it to 10 without wobbling or reaching for something, that's not a diagnosis. That's information you didn't have 60 seconds ago. Balance isn't one thing failing. It's several small, boring, unrelated-looking habits. The extra grab for the counter, the push off the armrest, the hesitation at the curb, the rail you now hold, all pointing at the same quiet truth underneath. Your body has been compensating for longer than you've been paying attention. Most men never connect those 4 habits to each other because each one alone feels too small to matter. A man who notices the pattern early isn't declining. He's the rare one who caught it while there was still plenty of time to do something about it. That's not weakness. That's exactly what staying independent actually looks like in practice before anyone else ever notices anything is different. None of this is here to scare you. It's here, so this becomes a decision you make early on your own timeline instead of one a hospital floor makes for you later. And that decision is the whole reason Still Standing After 60 exists. It's the system I put together after watching how much of this research never reaches the men who need it most. The exact retraining for the exact systems we just walked through in the order they actually fail. The biggest thing it gives you isn't a workout. It's the ability to pass that single leg test you just tried and know exactly why you can. It's linked in the description below, and if you're watching on TV, scan the QR code on screen now. The reason to look at this today instead of someday isn't fear. It's simple math. Every one of these 5 systems keeps declining quietly whether you address it or not, and the earlier you start retraining, the less ground you have to make back later. A man who starts this year is training from where he stands today. A man who waits 3 more years is training from further back against the same 5 systems with less time to close the gap. Waiting doesn't keep things the same. It just makes the eventual work harder. If this is the kind of training intelligence you want every week, subscribe. We put out videos weekly, and everyone is built for men serious about staying independent. I'm Atlas Reed. Keep doing the work.